Martellus Bennett, the only place he would actually play is New England. So that being said, he's always wanted to play with his brother. What percentage do you actually give Martellus Bennett coming back from retirement and playing with the Patriots, being that Adam Schefter has reported that he is interested in doing so?
25, 30%. I don't see it happening personally. The thing is I mean it makes sense. The tight end situation is kind of strange in New England. Gronkowski, we don't really know. I mean, he's going to be back next year, it looks like, more than anything else. But getting a second guy wouldn't be that much of an issue. It would be a help. But I don't really know how much the Patriots are interested. I haven't heard any signs of it being bad or good. He didn't play last year, so I don't know. I'd say 25, 30%. I'm still on the low spectrum. By the way, is every player going to come back? Jason Witten came back, and now everybody just like, all right.
Yeah, I think. Well, you know what's funny about that is because when Jason Witten came back, Martellus Bennett made a video saying he was thinking about it was a joke, but was it a joke?
Well, now he wants to play with the Patriots, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he's just making parodies of everything.
Maybe he's just saying it. Maybe he's just interest doesn't mean I for sure want to play, but interest is like maybe I'm thinking about it. It doesn't have to be like.
It's bigger than 0%.
Yeah, exactly. So, but, I think as we saw with Jason and Devin McCourty, those two guys always wanted to play with each other. They finally got that opportunity. Of course, Jason was still in the league, when that happened. But Martellus Bennett and Michael Bennett, they've talked about this all the time. I think if Michael Bennett would have went to the Patriots last year, when the Patriots were in on Michael Bennett, Martellus Bennett would have played last year because he still was in the league, and then he retired last year. So he's only been out of the league for 1 year, the same as Jason Witten, and he's younger than Jason Witten. So that being said, I don't know, because Martellus Bennett, he's been very successful with what he's doing with the Imagination Agency and his creative stuff that he's doing, his podcast, all that stuff. It's good to see that he's doing well. I don't know if he really has a lot of incentive outside of okay, I'm going to play with my brother. This would be a really cool bucket list thing to do. And maybe that's enough for him to come back. But at the same time, I don't know if a minimal contract, which was probably what the Patriots would offer him, maybe $1 million, $2 million at the $2 million at the most. I don't see it being a lot of money to actually bring back Martellus Bennett to be a second tight end. And to me, I really liked what Dwayne Allen gave them this year as a blocking tight end. He is gone, and he freed up some of this cap to go out there and get his brother. With Michael Bennett, I think he's a more capable pass catcher if he were to come back. I still think he's in great shape, I would suppose. I don't think he's going to be bad or anything if he comes back. I think he's still going to be a quality number 2 tight end if he decides to come back. And he's an excellent blocker, as we know. So it would be an interesting ad. I would be all for it. I really like the guy, and it would be awesome to see 2 sets of brothers on the team. That would be awesome. But we'll see what happens with Martellus Bennett. But all we know now is that Michael Bennett is a Patriot. We'll see about Martellus. And to wrap up the Patriot rumors, let's go to Danny Amendola, who's been released by the Miami Dolphins. And all I'm saying now is if the Jonas brothers can get back together, Danny Amendola, Martellus Bennett, they can all come back. If the Jonas brothers
come back, that's too in my head. That's too nostalgic. Okay,
bro. If the Jonas brothers can come back, Danny Amendola can reform it with Edelman and Gronk and Brady. They can rock out the greatest hits in 2019.
They were for 1 year. They were separated for 1 year. The Jonas brothers haven't made a thing in a decade. Or 8 years. It's a little difference. I will say it would be a nice addition. I like Amendola. He's a little up there in age. What, 30, 35 maybe? Is that the correct
I don't
age?
think he's that old. What? I would say 34.
I was thinking 34, 35, one of the two.
If I guess.
Okay. So, he's up there. He got released. I don't really know why.
He's 33. He's going to be 34 in November.
So. November. Okay, so in the middle of the season, will be 34. That's not terrible. It's not the end of the world. And plus, the guy, all you really need him to do is be there for 16 games, and then he's going to go off in the playoffs.
Just wait for the play. He doesn't even need to play until the playoffs.
He could be out there and be like, all right, here's 35 catches and two or three touchdowns, and then, I'm going to do all that in the postseason. So it really doesn't matter. I think it would be a nice addition for New England. I don't know where else he would he's going to go. I think that's just the number one target because he's been there. He was there before.
Yeah, on Danny Amendola, I think it's the number one target because he's been there. He has great friends there. Edelman and him are like best buddies. Of course, he's friends with Gronk and Brady. And the only reason he left last year, let's be honest, was money. They weren't going to bring him back for the amount of money that the Dolphins paid him. It just wasn't going to happen. So if he's not going to get that amount of money again. He didn't have like an excellent season with the Dolphins. He was fine, but he wasn't on the Patriots. So I think if Dola wants to get back with the Patriots, if he just figures, that's the place I got to go for the last couple of years of my career. I'm a legend there. The fans love me. I can sign, for a minimal contract, win some games, play my part, and, retire in the way that I want to retire. It really depends on Amendola. If he feels like he's made, enough money at this point, it's not like he was making nothing when he was on the Patriots because, that one season in 2013 when they got rid of Welker, he signed that year and they offered him a pretty big contract. He had to restructure his contract at certain points during that run, but it wasn't like he didn't make a lot of money. So I think just Amendola, the one thing he wanted last year was just to get some of that money that he missed on when he had to restructure, and the chance of being in Miami, such a nice city, I think was appealing to him. Now, it's kind of interesting that Miami released him because, of course, they have Brian Flores as their head coach. They have Chad O'Shea as their offensive coordinator. So they have a lot of Patriot blood in there, the Dolphins do, on the coaching staff. But they weren't going to pay him. I think it was like $8 million. It's just not – that's not going to happen. So they release him. It's an interesting strategy by the Dolphins just not to pay a guy for 1 year, just to kind of implement their offensive system a little bit because Amendola has such good ties with it. But for the Patriots, I think it would be an excellent move. I'd probably give it like 55% chance of happening. I think it's pretty likely. It's more likely that he goes there than anywhere else.
Yes. Yeah, and that would be the first position. I mean, that's the first place I would think of. I don't know. Excuse me, what other team? Maybe come to Cowboys. Maybe if we don't go with Cole Beasley, maybe.
There you go. Yeah, honestly, that would probably be in the top 3 because he is from Texas.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe we got to replace the white kid. I mean, who knows?
Replace the white kid. Yeah. So we'll see if Danny Amendola returns to the Patriots again. I would be all for it. Love Danny Amendola, and again, he doesn't need to come in and be a superstar. Okay, no. He just needs to come in, play his role every once in a while, contribute, make a third down catch every game, go into the playoffs. Make some plays in the playoffs, up your snaps in the playoffs, and do your thing. And then when you're also looking at the Patriots, just to end this, Chris Hogan is a free agent. Philip Dorsett's a free agent. The only receivers they really have on their roster right now are Julian Edelman and Braxton Berrios. So they need to bring in some receivers. So that means Danny Amendola, the door is open for you to come back to the Patriots. We'll see if Bill Belichick makes the move.